Hello YouTube, in this video I'm gonna talk to you about strategic thinking with outposts. And this might be related to fictional writing, maybe like world building and also like entrepreneurship or company building, and maybe even to like money management, all kinds of things, this might be related to. And I want to teach you a way of thinking that is strategic and is outpost based strategic thinking. So you know that in some of those strategic games you can build outposts like near, for example, resources. You know that one gold mine, and it would be a really nice thing to have that freaking outpost near the gold mine. But with outposts there's a problem. When you build an outpost, you are going to have to think about how it's related to all of your other outposts and how the outpost will be protected, and if you have to make transitions between the outposts, what are the dangers on the way. So for example, if you want to build a company and you want to spread around your town or city, or maybe even to your country, maybe even to the whole world, you have to think about where are the other outposts that you have already created. There are these big multi-million companies in this world that have all kinds of outposts in the Chinas and in Japans and in the United States. These companies might be from Paris or something, their head post, but they still have stuff happening all over the world. So how did they achieve this, and how could you achieve this in your life in some other endeavor? You have to start thinking that when you create a box basically where you contain something, it's an outpost. You could think that your bank is an outpost for your money, and you could think that for example, your home is one outpost. But there are people in this world who have many homes, and you could think of them as outposts. And what's the problem over here? Well, it's of course that when you build an outpost, you are never going to be but only at one place at a time. So if you want to have few different homes, you have to think about what is the purpose of this home? What is the purpose of this home? There are different kind of companies that have different products in different stores. They have a different kind of vision for this store than the other one. They might be bigger or smaller, the stores, and they have a different category of items there. And that's how they think about their outposts. But could you, for example, I'm gonna throw you a challenge today. Can you build one new outpost? Can you make one new outpost in any kind of way today? For example, you could have many different outposts on the internet, but you could also think that being on the internet, for example, if the subject of the video was marketing, and you wanted to do marketing with outposts basically, you could think that each different website you are on is an outpost. But you could also think that internet in general is an outpost because it's out there, and you could think about this in marketing terms, that if you wanted to spread around and get your brand or your name recognized, then what would you do? Because in outposts you usually have the idea of ownership behind them. You have to own the place to call it an outpost. But you can rent services from for example the banks, and you can even rent homes. You can rent a lot of stuff, and you can still make it an outpost, if you have the accessibility to it. That's really interesting. So start to think of in these terms, and start to realize how much can go wrong when you spread around the place. There are all kinds of problems with it. There comes the problem of transportation. You have money over here, you have money over there. You have money over here, you have money over there. You have like stuff over here and stuff over here. And in this place you have stuff that is not worth anything. In this place you have stuff that is worth millions. You know, you are not going to like invest in like security for the place that has no valuable things in it. You know, imagine a guy. He has millions of dollars worth of stuff that he keeps in a building that doesn't have any security, and there's a guy and the same guy has a building that has nothing in it and is really secure. You know, it has all the security. You know, even a armed security guy like at the door. You know, it wouldn't make any sense. You know, you got your most valuable assets. You could think that way. So what are those, and can you start spreading in this way today? Can you like think about life in this way? Because there are always like risks when you put all of your eggs in one basket. You say there are always risks, and then there are problems. You know, for example, like if I wanted to like embrace this concept on, for example, YouTube, I could like make another YouTube channel. But there's a problem with that kind of thinking, because when you divide, you start to like lose your like focus. Basically, when you start dividing all over the place, you are like here and you are like here. Well, yeah, maybe people can find you better, but for example, I know YouTubers that have many channels and it doesn't make any sense, in a sense that they are still on YouTube. You could think that maybe YouTube is one outpost where you have some things, but you could have another one at another like video like service, or you could have your own. But you know, for example, YouTube, they have to do outpost thinking because they have their servers. You know, they are all over the place, all over the globe. You know, for example, in China and in all kinds of places, you know, they have these like outposts. They have to think it in those terms. And it gets complicated, you know. Every time you start to think about outposts, it could be so like simple as you have a home that has many rooms in it. It gets more complicated than if you have everything in one room. You know, it's more simple. You have to start dividing your mind and start to like assign things that, yeah, these rooms or these boxes are different even though they are pretty much the same, you know. And it gets complicated, and that's the problem with like this type of like strategic thinking. But you have to understand that if it's related to resources, like let's write a story based on this. There's this gold mine, you know. This gold mine, it's amazing how much gold there is. And you decide that I'm gonna build an outpost over here in this gold mine, and I have this city and it's guarded by walls, and I have to make transportations from the gold mine to the city. It's complicated because if you have a certain kind of like armed forces in the city, you have to take some of those and maybe like divide it up and take some of them to the gold mine. And the fact is that your city becomes less guarded and more prone to like attacks from the anyone who wants to raid your city because of your like decision to go for this gold mine. You know, and you have many gold mines, the problem like multiplies and multiplies. When, in those strategy games, you build in in the outpost, you build something that creates these like people or these guys who protect the gold mine. But in real life, it doesn't work that way. So, for example, if this was the army, you know, would you do the resource like gathering of people, I mean like recruiting? Would you do it in the gold mine or would you do it in the city? which way would you go about it? You know, you understand that this kind of thinking, it's really like out there, like it's really in the clouds. You know, you have to look at the whole situation. And I bet that there are many people in this world who are really good at this stuff. I'm not saying that I'm really good at this stuff, but I'm learning, and I believe that this is a real valuable skill that you can have. So that's strategic thinking with outposts. I threw a few examples for you, and you can project your own life and your own mistakes and successes at this stuff, and maybe you will gain something from this. Who knows? This stuff could be applied to almost anything. I said that creative writing, business building, and world building, empire building. You know, these kinds of things. Getting marketing, getting your name out there. So how will you achieve it? That's the question. Thanks for watching.